and speed enthusiasts. Welcome to a new video.
Today we will review the best qualifying runs of the 12-second motorcycles from the 17th edition of the Barranquilla 2024 quarter-mile Carnival Drag Racing Cup.
We begin with a duel between Nelson Camacho's Honda CBR650R and Fabian Moreno's Suzuki Bandit 650.
Fabian Moreno takes the victory on his Suzuki Bandit, with a time of 12.494 seconds, followed by Nelson Camacho on his Honda CBR650R, with a time of 12.787 seconds.
Next up, Hugo Ortiz's Suzuki GSX-S750 goes against Albiro Orozco's Yamaha MT-09.
Albiro Orozco wins on his Yamaha MT-09, with a time of 12.800 seconds, placing him in third position in the standings. Just 70 milliseconds behind, Hugo Ortiz on his Suzuki GSX-S750 takes the fourth spot.
Lastly, Santiago Uribe on his CFMoto 450SR faces off against Fabian Moreno on his Suzuki Bandit 650.
Fabian Moreno on his Suzuki Bandit improves his previous record by clocking a time of 12.361 seconds, solidifying his first position.
Meanwhile, Santiago Uribe on his CFMoto 450SR records a time of 13.310 seconds, placing him in the 13-second category.
Now it's Cesar Camacho's turn on his Suzuki RMZ 450.
Cesar Camacho on his Suzuki RMZ 450 clocks a time of 12.671 seconds, taking the second position.
Next, we have a duel between Hugo Ortiz's Suzuki GSX-S750 and Fabian Moreno's Suzuki Bandit 650.
Fabian Moreno takes the victory on his Suzuki Bandit 650. However, he fails to improve his previous record.
On the other hand, Hugo Ortiz on his Suzuki GSX-S750 records a time of 12.639 seconds, moving from 5th to 2nd place.
Next, Ruben Torres makes a run on his Ducati Multistrada.
Perez on his Ducati Multistrada clocks a time of 12.373 seconds, thus taking the second position.
Next up, Santiago Uribe on his CFMoto 450SR faces off against Juan Manzano on his Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R.
Santiago Uribe on his CFMoto 450SR improves his previous record, clocking a time of 13.330 seconds, thus remaining classified in the 13-second category.
Meanwhile, Juan Manzano on his Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R records a time of 12.363 seconds, taking the second position just 2 milliseconds behind the leader.
Next, Nelson Camacho makes another run on his Honda CBR650R, facing Fabian Moreno on his Suzuki Bandit 650.
Nelson Camacho on his Honda CBR650R improves his previous time by more than half a second, clocking an ET of 12.205 seconds, thus rising to the first position on the leaderboard.
On the other hand, Fabian Moreno on his Suzuki Bandit fails to improve his previous record.
Next, Santiago Uribe on his CFMoto 450SR faces off against Hugo Ortiz on his Suzuki GSX-S750.
Hugo Ortiz on his Suzuki GSX-S750 improves his previous time by more than 0.4 of a second, clocking an ET of 12.172 seconds, thus moving from 5th to the 1st position.
Santiago Uribe on his CFMoto, however, fails to improve his previous record.
Next, a duel unfolds between Albiro Orozco on his Yamaha MT-09 and Fabian Moreno on his Suzuki Bandit 650.
Fabian Moreno on his Suzuki Bandit takes the victory but fails to improve his previous record.
Albiro Orozco on his Yamaha MT-09, on the other hand, improves his previous time by clocking an ET of 12.551 seconds, moving from 7th to 6th place.
Next, Santiago Uribe makes another run on his CFMoto 450SR.
Santiago Uribe on his CFMoto 450SR clocks a time of 12.939 seconds, thus qualifying in the 8th position in the 12-second category.
Next, Juan Manzano makes another run on his Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R.
Juan Manzano on his Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R clocks a time of 12.073 seconds, moving from 4th to the 1st position.
Now, Ruben Torres makes another appearance on his Ducati Multistrada.
Ruben Torres on his Ducati Multistrada improves his previous record by clocking a time of 12.110 seconds, moving from 5th to the 4th position.
Next up, Nelson Camacho makes another run on his Honda CBR650R.
Nelson Camacho on his Honda CBR650R clocks a time of 12.058 seconds, taking the lead in the classification by a difference of just 15 milliseconds over the 2nd place.
Now, it's once again the turn of Cesar Camacho on his Suzuki RMZ 450.
Cesar Camacho on his Suzuki RMZ 450 improves his previous record by clocking a time of 12.603 seconds. However, he remains in the 7th position.
Finally, closing the classifications, Hugo Ortiz's Suzuki GSX-S750 faces off against Fabian Moreno's Suzuki Bandit 650.
Fabian Moreno on his Suzuki Bandit 650 improves his previous time by clocking an ET of 12.333 seconds, ultimately finishing in the 5th position.
On the other hand, Hugo Ortiz on his Suzuki GSX-S750 records a time of 12.047 seconds, moving from 3rd to the 1st place.
So ended the classification rounds with 8 motorcycles in the 12-second category.
However, from the final of the 13-second category, Maria Alejandra Almendrils on her Yamaha R7 entered the 12-second category.
With a time of 12.927 seconds, Maria Alejandra Almendrils on her Yamaha R7 was disqualified from the 13-second category and entered at the bottom of the list for the 12-second category motorcycles.
The 9 classified motorcycles will now compete against each other in the finals to vie for the championship trophy, but we'll see that in an upcoming video. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Thus we come to the end of the video. If you liked it, support us with a like and consider subscribing to see more videos like this. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.